Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Spiritual Mysteries of Life. And I'm Constance Vawter, and I'd like, if you would be so kind, is to like and share the show. That's how we do it here with I think it's Be Live or Facebook, however they work it. And I'd like to thank Neshi for hosting the show for us this evening. And just remember, we have lots of shows and lots of information in our live stream, and so just tune in and find out what those fun things are, and get in tune with whatever resonates with you. And so today, they were asking me what my topic was going to be, and I thought because um, I'm now on evening time and not morning time, that I thought I better do a little history or a little chat about who I am and where I've been. And so that you'll say, well, who is she? Well, I'm Constance Scherer, and when I was a little girl, I could speak and talk to spirit. And my mother knew that and guarded me like a mother hen, man. She just was all over it. But anyway, but then later on in life, as life goes, I think I was in my 30s, maybe late 20s. I was having a lot of difficulty because I was hearing so much chatter, so much noise, and didn't know how to interpret it. And so anyway, I got in contact with the right people, and and here I am, all these years later. And I think I got involved in a spiritualist church in 1968, 69, somewhere in there. And so kind of tells you how old I am, doesn't it? Huh? Well, anyway, I've been doing this for a long, long time, and loving it. And 4 years ago, this month, I started with Star Nations, and we were on radio at that time. And it was a morning show, half hour. And now here we are, 3 years later, and doing some wonderful things, and I'm loving every minute of it. And meeting new people and helping new people, and seeing what's going on, and where we are. And in the 3 years that I have been doing the show, I have been teaching the I Am presence. And if you ask the question, well, what is the I Am? What is that? Well, let me think a second here. It's the creative spirit in the universe. It's all encompassing and everywhere. It's present everywhere. It's, I know you've heard this phrase, it is now, ever, has been, and ever shall be. It's the divine essence of all things. It's in all things. It is life in all of its manifestation. It's the creation that lives within us. It's the rhythmic beat of your heart. I love that. I just love it, because your heart can vibrate, the pulsation. And what is that? That's life. And when you stop and think about life and love and mind, how it all flows, and how the vibrations and the waves and you're all of that, and how it flows back and forth. And if you know that you are the I Am, and that when God says you are in me and I am in you. So that's what that means. It says when the light comes, like, think I channel, I'm a channeler, so they always refer to me in the channel as a vehicle. Now, some people don't, and other people may call it an instrument. It doesn't matter, as long as they're able to come in and be known. And spirit, when they come through, they are so excited when they can express themselves, because they can hear us and see us, and of course we're spirits, but we can't see them. Sometimes I can see them, but a lot of folks can't see them. But that, and I feel vibrations, and then after I feel the vibration, then I can see it, or sometimes I can see and then feel the vibration. It's just however it comes in. And when you're totally into it, anyway, when I first started, I would have to say, it hasn't been that long that I went into meditation, but I prayed, or however you folks do it. I talk to God direct. I don't have a formal prayer. I just say what I got to say and get it out there, and then I try to meditate so I can hear what He has to say to me. And as long as I feel that I am me, and that I don't really look for any recognition for what I do. It's what my purpose is, to help humanity, to teach people that it's okay to be different. It's okay to have an inner knowing, an inner knowledge. And it's okay to know that when God says, I am the flame in you, I am in you, I am the flame of love in you, He is the ultimate. People when I do readings for people and they're lost, and they don't know, and they're looking for happiness, or they're looking for somebody else to satisfy that spiritual need, and really they have to go within themselves to find that. That's not something that you can find out on the outside. Another person can't make you happy. You have to do that yourself. And when somebody doesn't, it's how I gotta back up here a little bit. When your life is, when God is, if you can recognize the I am as, I am your life, and He is in your life, and everything that you do, no matter what it is, He is there to assist and give you. Now, I have a band of masters and teachers, and I have Indian chief who directs everything of mine. I have the Eternal Flame, who is very much involved in my channeling, and I have to tell you that it's a process, because I try to be humble in aspects of where I'm at. I don't expect anybody to understand what I'm doing. I've had people say to me, I think you're crazy, Connie. And I said, well, listen, I do what I do because it's for the betterment of all mankind. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. And I had this opportunity. Had I not came to Florida, this would have never happened to me. And I do have to thank my daughter for that, because spiritually, I think she was led here, and she followed it and said, I'm moving you to Florida. So here we are. And it's good, and I'm in the process of doing some things that are different, and it all works out. And blessings to those who can't understand. And it's okay. It's because God's in control. Everything is in divine order. And when people are saying, well, everything's in chaos, everything's in chaos. Oh, no, it's not. It's all in divine order, because He's already told us that. When you think about it, when God says, you are in me and I am in you, what does that say to you? It says we have perfect life, we have perfect love, and we have perfect harmony. And one of the things that I think about is that I don't want to have any desire but God's desire. I don't care if I have love because I have God's love. And that to me is more important than, that's my goal in this lifetime, for me to be able to finish up and do what I need to do, because I fell and was knocked out for a period of time. And I was given the opportunity to come back into my body. And when I did that, I was able to make restitution and say, I'm going to do what I need to do spiritually, but I don't know how to do it. All right. So then all the things that you say, well, how can that be? How could this happen? How can you just pack up and move to Florida? Are you nuts? You know, and you say, well, listen, I guess this is the plan. I don't know why I'm going to Florida. I'm just going. And I felt like a gypsy. So, it's just the way it happened. And it was nerve-wracking, but it was fun and exciting too at the same time. So when you think about the I am, your form is God's form. Your heart is God's heart. So when you think about that and you think about the heart and you say, let me be your heartbeat and your life. So then you say to yourself, okay, can I do that? Well, of course you can. Let me be your power and your peace. Of course you can do all of that. It's there. And it's let me be your love. And I say this a lot because I just think, okay, let me be your love. And then I'll just say love, 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 love. Because I just, and then when the world, the light that you give to the world, because we're all one. We're all here working together, trying to help everybody. That's what I believe Star Nations is all about, is trying to raise the consciousness to help people. We are in the fifth dimension. And so in order for us to survive, we have to be able to go in and we have to be willing to serve. We have to be, the love aspect is the key. In the compassion, love unifies everything. It heals the heart. It heals the mind. It brings peace and harmony. And if you love, you will be fulfilled. If you can learn to call it and say it, that it's unconditional love as far as God is concerned. He's wonderful. And I'm in one with the source and in harmony with myself. I'm going through a lot of things. I go to a gym, which I've never done before. And there's just some wonderful things that are happening to me. And it's just, I take one day at a time. You know the song, one day at a time, sweet Jesus. Well, it's the truth. And I try to keep my emotions intact. And I keep my mind intact. And I believe that my soul is eternal. So as we are progressing and trying to get things, and if you say to me, I don't know if I can really believe that I am concept. Well, how can I say this? The I am is a piece of, it's not like the I am is totality. It's a piece of who you are, a piece of God. When you think about, we're all strands. If you could think of the universe and think about what, how can I say this? The things that are going on, the lights that are being, the cosmic lights that are being shined down on us, and really, and some of the things that may happen, that have happened in recently, and that is with the earthquakes and the volcanoes and all of these things that are earth. That's the Mother Earth has to go through all of this because of the shift, this fifth dimension shift. has caused the earth to make certain changes. And we have to be ready for all that stuff. And we have to be, open and say, oh, what can we do to help each other? How can we help somebody else? It isn't all about what is it for me? Because it's not all about us as individuals. And so with that, I guess I'm probably trying to let you know that on this show, I don't know, I may channel yet this evening. I'm thinking that's coming next because I think I've said about the I am that I can talk about, but at this point, but I just want y'all to know that we are in the process of pulling things together and wanting you to know that you are so loved and everything is so perfect in you. And when you're going through a tragedy and things are not the way you think they should be, that you have to take yourself out of the equation. You really do. And go within and ask for divine knowledge and understanding. And sometimes you can get it, and sometimes you have to wait. It doesn't come instantly. You just hope and pray that it'll all work itself out and say, okay, everything will work fine. Everything is in order. And so we just have to wait for all of that. And so I'm really hoping that when we set the stage or set the pace of what's going on, that we remember who we are. We are all the children of God. And he tells us that in order to enter, you still have to be a child. And so that's why when people are getting therapy and you got to get in there and you got to know that inner child. Well, we're all children at heart. Even though I'm a senior, I'm still a child inside, that little girl inside of me. Sometimes she gets when I go to the gym, I got a little carried away and almost hurt myself. And the guy comes over and he says, "No, ma'am," he says, "you can't do that." I said, "Well, I want to get this." And he says, "You can't do it overnight." So he says, "It didn't happen overnight." So he says, "It's going to take some time." So anyway, the processing is that, and so I had to learn how to do things right in that respect. But that's just a fun thing that I do, and I'm working, and life is good. And I want to share a little story with you because it just touched my heart. And that is that my granddaughter, who lives in Michigan, and I live in Florida. I don't know if you all know that or not, but anyway, I live in Pinellas Park, Florida. Beautiful place. Home, they call it the home of the rich and the famous, Well, that's what they say in our clubhouse anyway. So anyway, my granddaughter called me last evening, and she said, "Grandma," and I have a 5-year-old, he will be 5 this month, grandson. And I have another great-grandson and another little great-grandson who's 2. And then I have a great-granddaughter who is just about, well, let's see, when was she born? I can't think. Back in June. So everybody's, she's got babies, little people. So her son says to her, "Mom, I'm going to have another sister and a brother, but they're not here yet." And she said, "What do you mean?" She said, "What do you mean?" And he says, "Well, they're not in there yet." And she said, "Well, no, we're not having any more babies right now." And he says, "No." And she said, "Ask him some questions." And he said, "Well, no, they're not here yet. They're coming, but they're not here yet." So when she told me, I laughed and I said, "Well, Ashley, I'm so pleased that you shared that with me, because that tells you your son is intuitive." And I said, "That is in the line. I was intuitive. Your grandmother was, I'm your grandma. Your great grandma was intuitive. Your great great grandmother was intuitive. So it runs in the blood. So I said, now you have 3 babies that are coming into this world in this new 5th dimension. I said, they definitely, you're going to see it. You're going to see them grow. And you know, spirits, you see them and you don't, talk about it too much, but she does. And so it's a process. And you never try to judge anybody. And one of the things that excuse me, I gotta wipe my nose here. But anyway, one of the things that I said to her, I said, well, out of the mouth of babes, I mean, sometimes we just have to step back and look at the little people. And of course, my great grandchildren don't really. Gianni knows me, but the other 2 don't. Well, the little one might, but the little girl doesn't know me yet because I've not met her. So, but anyway, those are things that when somebody shares those things with you, you just absolutely feel so good about it, and you say, "Oh, isn't that wonderful?" Because that just says that what's happening in the world today, these young children are going to make the changes. They are the ones that are coming in. I always refer to folks like myself, like the old souls. Well, anyway, what I see for us, and excuse me for saying it this way, is that when we decide that we're finished here, and when we come back in, we're not going to have to learn it all over again. We're going to know it. And so it's like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Because see, what happens is that when everybody goes on over, they say, oh, I'm never coming back here. I'm never doing it. Oh, yeah. You get over there and you say, I'm in line. When can I go back next? Because it's the only place that you can go and learn your lessons. This is the only place you get free will. And isn't that wonderful that God, when he created us, he just put it all together and said, now I'm going to give you the opportunity to have the only planet is out there that you can make up your own mind. Now, how cool is that? But guess what? The next time around, us old folks are going to come in all brand new, and we're going to say, we don't have to learn it anymore. We're going to have it all together, and bang, we're going to go and pick up where we left off. We'll be able to remember the Akashic records. We'll be able to remember the things that we did before and the mistakes that we made and know further. It's because it's there. It's just like when I said to my kids, one of these days you don't need a cell phone. You won't. You'll just tell each other mentally what you want. You don't have to call them up and say, oh, bring some milk and bread home. No, those days are gone. You just send the thought and somebody, oh, we need that? Okay, yeah, I guess I'll go get it. That's what's coming. And that's kind of exciting. So you have to say to yourself, is it in this lifetime? Maybe not, but it'll be in the next one for sure. So that's what you look forward to. And you just say to yourself, oh, okay, what can I do to bring it all together? How can I just wrap it up and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do? And I really hope that when you think about these things and when you think about what you're trying to do spiritually, that you take it into your inner self. Don't be all, how can I say this nicely? I truly believe that it's better when a person is struggling to go within yourself, to go within your own closet, to go within your own heart, and not be out there saying out in public what the problem is. You may have a select few people you can share things with that will keep it close to your heart and to theirs and not blow it out. So that it's like when I say blow it out, the first thing the Spirit says, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Hide it under a bushel? No, I'm going to let it shine. So these are the things that we look at and we are so happy about, is that sometimes Spirit talks to people through music. And I used to use music when I did my counseling and did readings for people. And but that has kind of left me a little bit. I don't do that, but other people I know who do it just have tremendous results with it. And then, like when I get out of work and I'm stressed, I'm driving home, all of a sudden a song will come out of nowhere and I'll start singing the song. And then I have to stop and say, what is he saying to me? Why? Because you have to listen for the sound of the silence. You really have to tune into that. And so in my car, I don't have any music on. I don't have the radio going. I just listen because it's quiet. No phone, no nothing, no computer, no nothing. And it's just so peaceful. And to be able to be in that oneness and to be able to pulse it and just know that everything is working and it's working right. And so it doesn't, when you get your information, you have to discern it. That is really important. That when you're working with spirit or with anybody else who is giving you spiritual information, it should be, you need to use that discernment and make sure, because sometimes things that I say, I always tell folks that if it doesn't resonate with you, then just put it on the shelf. And one of these days, something's gonna click, and you're gonna say, "Oh, yeah, that's what she said. I gotta go get that," and do whatever you need to do. It's totally up to you. It's your song, your deal. And I know the other day in fact, it was today when I left work. I stopped at I had to stop and drop some mail, and there's a little shop where I go, and it's all old things, and it's called the Porch. And so I thought, I've never been in there. I guess I'll go in there and take a look. Whoa, the vibrations in that place about blew me away, because it was you could just feel the older spirits, and everybody, and it was kind of cool. And so anyway, I had that little experience, and then I got in the car, and then a song came to me that I sang years ago, maybe, I can't even remember the year I sang it, but it was one moment in time. And it's the words where it says, each day I live, I want to be. Each day I live, I want to be the best there is to be. So I don't know if those are exactly the right words, but the processing is that if I could sing it, then I'd get the right words. But anyway, we're not going there. But the processing of when things happen, and just like when I hear the words, sometimes I'll hear the song, "Love makes the world go round." And then I thought, oh, isn't that nice? Love makes the world go round. And then I think about the world in essence, and everything seems to be going fine. And you say to yourself, okay. Now, some people could argue that with me, but I let them. But I don't, it doesn't work. I have to do what I have to do. And it's hard for some folks to understand that. But I love them anyway, and life goes on. Okay, what does that say here? Hello, thanks for doing what you do. I need some help today. Okay, would you like me to do some reading, answer questions, or I don't know that, let's see, it's 8:30, so I doubt that I'll channel, but we could answer, maybe do some questions, and I can meditate on it a second. So, all right. All right, if you feel anything, please let me know. All right. All right. I believe that you have a tendency to play jokes on. I somehow or another, I want her to reply to me, because I'm seeing this and I'm feeling it, and so I want to know that if I'm in the right vibration with her. And that is that she likes to have fun, and she is she thinks nothing of just kind of like playing little jokes on people. And it's like, okay, I'm with it, or she'll just create little teeny things or like do a woo-hoo thing. I don't know. But I feel that she's just kind of fun and has a lot of things. And I would say to you, what I feel is that there's good vibrations around her and that things are working now. And I feel like she is saying, no, things aren't working well, but they're in divine order. She has to understand that. That concept is hard. What is she saying? I think my job is ending, and I'd like to do. Okay, so then that's why I picked that up. Okay, now if you are in a position, you need to right away. If you think that, you must manifest to yourself a new job. It's coming to you. Plan it. Just plant that out there in your mind. And if your job is ending, then you will already have planted the seed so that what you're planning next will automatically start to manifest. Sometimes you have to do that. You have to get the manifestation out there. Most definitely. I love to have fun and I do help people. Okay, very good. Well, I knew that about you. I could feel that vibration, and then I thought to myself, well, at least we're on the same track and I know who I'm reading for. And that process is that when you're doing that, don't worry about it. Don't worry about the job. Just know that God is going to provide for you somehow. Just know that it's going to be there with an innate ability to focus in on that and hold it. And then what happens is I truly believe I was blessed because I had no idea that I was going to be working. And I've been at my job now a whole year and wonderful people to work for. And I don't know that I love it, but I like it. Sometimes you say, and maybe I should just say I like my job because it's different, it's exciting, it's trying, it's all the things that nothing's boring. So that's fun. You got to look at it and just say, hey, it's cool. Everything's in divine order. And when you think about those things, and for I don't know how to pronounce her name. Kaylee? Is it Kaylee? All right. I would like to leave this with you, Kaylee, and that is remember who you are. Keep having the fun that you are because you can manifest. I know you can. I can see it. And things are going to be it's going to be better than what you think. Things are going to be better than if you have any doubt, forget the doubt because it's going to be better. I can see it. So go with that, hang on to that and say, everything is going to be better and I know it. And so with that, thank you. Okay, Monica. Yeah, okay. Now, let me just say this, and that is, I sense, and of course your picture is quite cute, but I feel like I'm the Disney World child. I'm the child that loves to go have fun. Everything just fits. I'm happy most of the time. But right now, I think you're searching for something and or waiting for something. And I'm not sure just exactly how you want to handle that because I'm saying to you this way, you've already gone through something and now you're out of it. Now be very careful that you don't step back into the same arena with this individual. Because right now it's like there's a facade that I see, that things look okay and they feel okay, but is it really okay? Take a second look, and feel the vibrations. Listen, go into the silence of yourself and listen hard before you move forward, honey. And that's what I'd like to leave with her. Thank you. Well, Bobby, I sure will. Thank you. And that's Barbie, right? Did I say Bobby? Oh, I'm sorry. Um, uh, I think, Barbie, there's some changes coming for you, and they're going to be, I see them dovetailing, and it's going to be some things that you, in your spiritual work, and some things that you want to get done and you've been working on. So I'm going to say to you, you keep doing that, and there's some classes that you want to take, go ahead and take them. Don't sit back and think, oh gee, well maybe I shouldn't take this one, or maybe I should wait and take that one. Just get them all in. Just figure it out how you can do it. And you know what, you're going to say, well gee, maybe I don't have enough money for that. It'll happen. If you're supposed to go, the money will be there for you to take and do these things. So if that seems to be a concern, but let me tell you, you may be pushing. They're showing me putting the pedal to the metal in regards to doing some things that are in the spiritual realm. And so God bless you and thank you. Okay, Anne. I don't know. Do I know Anne? I don't think so. Do I know Anne? I don't know. I don't think I've ever met her.
No, you haven't, but this is, her sister, Minnie.
Oh, Minnie. That's who she looks like. She looks like Minnie, and I thought that's why the familiarity. Okay. Well, all right, Anne. It's wonderful to have you here this evening. And let me see what we can. Um, okay, Anne. I'm sensing a the bells roll. I really feel like the bells or the tolls, everything is just coming to the beating of the drum, the roll of the drum. Everything is like everything's coming to is all fruition. I'm done. I'm rolling it out, and we're going to see where this is going. So I don't know, but whatever you're doing, you're going to put it in perspective, and you are going to be the star. You're going to be the winner. So whatever you're doing, and whatever you're doing, I'm telling you right now, hang on, because you're going to be successful in whatever you're going to be doing. And God bless. Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Good. That's wonderful to see that, because that gives me affirmation of knowing that I'm getting it correctly as well. And okay, very good. All right. You know, is there anybody else out there, or can I? If there isn't, oh, there is? No, there isn't. All right, that's all right, because I can still keep going on. And I think that we have one of the things that I wanted to share with people is that when we are working so diligently in the material world that we forget about our spiritual life, and you have to make time for the spiritual life. You really do. Because, you remember now, we're all coming off of that third and fourth dimension. And so there's a lot of lagging. It's a lot of energy that's just drudgery. And so it's just like, oh, Lordy. And so you keep going over it, you say, oh, how come that's still hanging around? Or why is this still happening? And so you have to really put it in perspective and know within yourself that you are who you are. God loves everybody. And that's the one thing is that people, and I went through the same process, is that, I felt guilty because I thought I didn't do something right after 30 years. And, you feel guilty. It's over. Or what did I do wrong? All that kind of stuff that you go through. Well, you just forget that because God doesn't care. He loves you anyway. He's not going to judge you. There's no judgment. And I thought, when I realized that, I said, oh, I think I can make it here. Because it was just like it was so heavy for me. And so, like, I cannot stand all this judgmental stuff. It's just too much. And now I think, okay, I know God isn't going to judge me. So what do I care? You can't please everybody. And one of the things that I like to share with folks is the mirror aspect. And because I do it. And I learned this years ago, and I really never put it into practice until just recently, probably in the last couple of years, maybe 3 years. And that is, when you look in the mirror and you look at yourself, you just say, oh, Connie, I love you today. And nobody else is going to tell you that because I'm alone. Well, I'm not anymore, but I was at that time. So that processing is that, and I shouldn't have said it that way. I'm still in the state of when I say, because nobody is telling me daily, Connie, I love you. They don't have to. If they're sharing my space and we're kind to each other and things like, being respectful, that's all that's necessary. Because my love has to come from God. It doesn't have to come from a physical individual. It's more of where am I spiritually and where am I going and what am I doing? And so I look in the mirror, and because the reflection, now, if you stand there long enough and you stare in that mirror, you're going to see some spirits. And I mean big time. So there's just days I stand in front of the mirror, not on my days that I work because I don't have time, but in the morning on my days. And when I'm getting up in the morning, and I'll stand there and I'll look in the mirror and just look and say, okay, who's here with me today? And then I'll see my spirit team. And I have, and I know quite a few of them by name now. And it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. And we are absolutely in tune. So when you say, when somebody says to you, let's say you're on your spiritual journey, and somebody, you get so excited, and then you start sharing with people, and they kind of raise their eyebrows, and then they say, oh, now, wait a minute, is this where you really want to be? And you say, yeah, that's where I really want to be. Don't let them steal your thunder. Don't let anybody steal your joy when it comes to your spiritual life and your spiritual work, because it's so, so important. And if the person just can't get it, you just bless them, love them, and eventually they'll be coming back and knocking on your door. Hey, what did you say about this? What did you say about that? I need to get in on that. You know why? Because we are in the fifth dimension, people. And they're still coming out of the third and fourth. And in order for them to survive, they're going to be wanting to attach themselves to people who are of the spiritual, of being love and and compassion and all the things. When we talked about that in my last show, I'm sure we did, that when, because I talk about this stuff all the time, it needs to be repeated many times because people forget it. I mean, how many times have you heard a show and you think, oh, well, get off, shut. And I always tell people, if it doesn't resonate with you, it's okay to forget it. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. I'm just here. I'm the vehicle that's giving you the information the Spirit gives to me. And so that's the part that's the most exciting part of my life, let me tell you. And I never dreamed in a million years that I'd be doing what I'm doing today. And it's lovely. It is absolutely lovely. It's being able to, through, let's see, 3 years of shows, I think I've poured out my heart. And so people who have watched it for 3 years knows all of my heartaches and all of my pains and everything else, where I don't dwell on that stuff anymore. Those are of the past, and I blessed it all. I've got it all out of my system, and I love everybody, and I just want everybody to be happy, and no matter what they did or what they're doing, it doesn't concern me. The only thing that concerns me is my spiritual growth and what I'm able to bring to you folks that will help you open the door, help you turn the light on, help you understand a better understanding of yourself. If you came from a family and maybe you didn't have the best, well, I had the best. I have to tell you that I did have the best. But let's say you didn't have the best and your folks didn't just treat you just right. Well, you know what? It's not always their fault. They did the best they knew how to do. That's what I say, is that if a parent or a child doesn't do exactly the way you think they should be, you just bless the person, because we don't always know. Till you walk in somebody else's moccasins, so to speak, you don't know. You really don't. Or what they're going through, what their mind is, where their mindset, how are they growing spiritually, what are they reading, what are they and studying, and are they really doing the work that needs to be done? And one of the things that I guess that I look at is that I feel moving forward with all of this, and now that we've moved to a nighttime show, and the first Thursday of the month instead of the last Thursday of the month, so it's going to be I think a real great opportunity for me to reach to people and give them the insight that they need. It doesn't matter what my personal situation is. My goal here in this home is to create the love that God has for all humanity. Whoever comes into my home, they can feel the presence. It's there. And that's what I've worked hard for. And so, and one of the things I do want to share with you is that when you're seeking things, make sure that you do it carefully. When you're seeking for your spiritual work, make sure that you're checking and making sure that you're listening to the right information for you, because not everybody resonates the same way. And so you have to be able to discern a little bit about, well, gee whiz, I don't know about that. And if it can happen, well, the best thing I do, and I've said this many times, and I probably said it already once tonight, and that is, if it doesn't fit, put it on the shelf, and it'll come to you one day. In the processing that we're doing for mankind and what's to come, we have a lot of work to do. We're just getting started. And I think, oh, I hope I can last another 15 years. That'd be really cool if I could, because you can imagine what's going to happen in the next 15 years. It's going to be awesome. So I'm just hoping, I'm thinking to myself, and by that time, I hope that, tonight I didn't channel, but probably next month I may channel. May is a special time, and I'm very close with the Holy Mother. And so those are things that could happen. I may talk a little bit about Mary and share my story of Mary with you, and how she and I connected. And it started in really, I mean, I don't know, maybe it was years ago, but anyway, it really manifested in the year 2000. And so those are things that I can share with you at the next show. But yes, Neshi, honey, okay, I would love your perception. Well, I am you're a grandparent, and how do you going to foster spirituality in children? Now, Steffi, let me say this, that today it will be easier, much easier to work with your children who are spiritually gifted than it was 50 years ago. Nobody talked about it 50 years ago. No, it was us, hush, 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 hush. And my children, now I have 2 daughters, and they all knew that their mother was a spiritualist and that I did readings for everybody. And they just don't tell. They don't want nobody want no. Don't tell anybody that my mama does that. I mean, that's just how it was. Kids, they don't want no. Don't tell my mom. Oh no, we don't do that. So that's just the way it was. I mean, I think they were a little embarrassed at times, but then later on in life, then it became, well, Mom, what do you think about this? And Mom, what do you think about that? And it was constant reading. But then finally, I just, it comes to a point where you cannot ignore when you thinking about children. This is a very delicate time. And I stress that with my granddaughter today, or last evening, when she was sharing about her grandson, or my great grandson. Now, I know that my granddaughter can see, because I know she sees spirit, but she doesn't. I don't want to class her as an atheist, but she just doesn't know how she feels about God right now. So we just leave it there, and I just figure, okay, I'll keep looking on that. But she doesn't know that I am, and well, maybe if she's watching the show, she will. But anyway, but then I have a grandson who is very intuitive. And Joseph had, I don't know about my oldest granddaughter. She lives in Fort Wayne, Indiana, I believe, but I haven't seen her for 20 years. So, and that's just the way it is. And I accept that. I love her. And, maybe someday before I leave this wonderful world, maybe I'll see her. If I can last another 15, 20 years, that'll be cool. And but those are the things that you just say. I know I'm going to. What do you say? If I'm going to, and so we got to manifest here. But when I'm talking to you, Steffi, about your grandchildren, is that you need to be very, very slow with it. Just let them. They'll. What did I just say? Out of the mouth of babes. Your children will tell you. Your grandchildren will tell you. And how you, and when they do, love them. Oh, I need to tell you, there's books, and I'm sure you know them. Star Nations published them. And Minnie's book, isn't it? Minnie's book that some of the girls have written books, because I got them, but I just can't remember who wrote what. But anyway, they're out there, and they're books that are good. They're solid, and I think those are things that, as a grandparent, when your little one comes to you and shares things, that you embrace it, and you just tell them that they're just fine, and that it'll be fine. It'll be so much easier now than it was 50 years ago. I can just tell you that because I've lived it. So, is it possible to love someone so much that you hate them? Oh, wow. Tina, well, now, wait a minute here. There's a fine line between love and hate. And I don't know. I would, I don't know. When you say that you love somebody and you can hate them as much as you love them, I don't know. Um, I suspect that probably that can happen. I wouldn't say you can't do it, but that must be hard to live in a situation like that or feel in a situation like that. I don't know. I probably, if I had to make that kind of a decision, just this is me now, I would be leaving the situation. I would not be able to live with or in about any place where I had to be love somebody and hate somebody at the same time. I couldn't, I don't think I could do that. And I commend you if you are living like that and doing that, because that is a very difficult process. And so I would suspect that knowing and just knowing who you are, that you are, this is what I'm hearing. Your innate self knows what to do here. You're a strong, strong person, and you can tell it. You can say, this is going to be the way it's going to be, or there's some alternatives. And you have to decide. Because hate, there's no, God doesn't, he didn't create hate. Man did. Man created hate, not God. And so when people say that, well, I hate this or I hate that, that's all man. That's what we're trying to leave behind. And not, oh, okay, all right, I'm getting something on this, Tina. Is that for you to move spiritually ahead? Now, and I know that this may be a new venture for you, but it's something that's been mulling around in your mind for quite a while. And so maybe you're getting a little bit resistance someplace along the line. And now it's time for you to decide, because you are now moving on into the fifth dimension. And let me tell you something, that not everybody moves into the fifth dimension at the same time. Sometimes we have to wait for people. And so if you're fortunate to find somebody who's in the fifth spiritually, and you can, work with it and say, oh man, alive, this is really cool, but I'm telling you, when you come up against a brick wall where your spirituality comes, you'll find a way to break that wall, because that's where it's at. Because spiritually, that's where we're all headed for. The fifth, and it's going to take thousands of years for us to get. I mean, it took us 2,000 years just to get everybody to try to love each other. Can you imagine that? So that processing, it's going to take a long time. But just know that if you don't get it in this life, you're going to get it in the next life. And you'll be able to bring your spirituality with you. You'll be able to do all that. But the words like hate and anger and all of the negative connotations, those are all man-made. And God created all harmony and love and peace and joy. And that's what he wants for everybody. He wants his children to be happy. He doesn't want them to be, miserable. He wants them. And you know something? Only you can make you happy. Nobody else can make you happy. Nobody. So I'm just saying to you is that be you, be happy. And if somebody can't deal with your happiness, too bad. Because it's your life. It's your journey. It's how, it's just like the yellow brick road. or the red road, whatever you want to call it. Whatever avenue that you need to go down to get you to where you need to go, that's what you need to do. It isn't a matter of, well, it doesn't matter what the guy next door thinks or the girl next door. It doesn't matter. So, hope that answers your question. Yeah. Oh, is it? Are we at the top of the hour? Okay. All right. Well, listen, we are, and I hope you enjoyed this evening. I certainly enjoyed being here and sharing with you. And if you have any questions, put them out there. Is it in the chat? How can they, and then if you have any questions for me, I'll go in online and I'll look at them and see if I can answer your questions. I'm willing to do that. And I do readings for people and I don't charge them. So at this time, it's God-given gift for me, and it's something I've had my whole life, and I don't mind sharing it, and it's fun. And I just want you to know that I love you all, and send you love and blessings, the utmost. And God bless you all. So.